Okay, Andrew in Ireland, here's your new Stryker. This is the one you're going to get here, ends in 3.6. So I'm going to show you how the UK FM band works. I've programmed that into the radio, and this will be a file that I'll load into all the radios that I send out. It's in band 1, so just remember that. Obviously all the other stuff's here. I would prefer to use the VFO format if it were me and some of the other bands and stuff, but to each his own on how you want to use the radio. You can use it either way. But I programmed the UK FM band into band 1, so you have all your frequencies here. You won't see the 5 here, so that's kind of just the way it is, you know. So you do it through the software. Now the software doesn't take the 5.0 on the end. I feel like Stryker could talk to the factory and have the firmware updated. It's probably just a matter of the PC programming software has to get told to allow that. Right now it doesn't allow it, so that's why it doesn't work. But there's a workaround, just like on the version 2, same way. So right now we're on 2779125, which is your channel 20, and you can see there that's where we're transmitting 2779125. So how did we do that? Okay, so basically you see my clarifiers and R and T together. So what that means is you receive and transmit is paired together. You can see here if I move this, we're plus 50 hertz. That's how we get over to the 5. So if that's not there, then now we're transmitting at 27791.197, which is pretty darn close to 2, you know. And as soon as we move this, you can see it kind of move on the spectrum analyzer too. See how it moves over? So if you don't have this here, it won't work. I mean, you could have one, you could have like transmit there, but then your receive will be off a little bit. It wouldn't really matter. But you don't want it to be in receive only. So that's a choice you have to make with the radio. If you want to use the UK FM, just go in and switch it. If you don't, then I would leave it in receive only. So that way you don't have to mess around with you know, the unlocked clarifier paired together. You don't need that on this radio. I mean, you can clearly tune somebody in no problem without shifting to where they are if somebody's off frequency. So that's pretty much covering that. You can go to any one of these channels and do that just like I showed, and it will be on frequency. So just wanted to show that. Obviously if we go out of this band and go to this band, which I don't know if you'll use this band, but I'm assuming you probably would at a certain point over there. We'll just show, let's go to, actually we'll just go to the center of the band. Go here. I just have it set to the orange color, but you can switch it. So let's span this down some. See, it's right on frequency there already, because these frequencies line up with how the PC programming software what it wants to see. So it's about 24 watts. Now this is AM, which I don't know if you're going to use that a whole lot over there, but just to show, it's about 24 watts or so, and it swings about 100. So there's really not a big difference on what I showed before on the first initial test video of the radio. So you know, we haven't really changed a whole lot. You notice that I'm not showing, oh man, look it, we got 150 out of it now, because that's not, the real world doesn't work like that. You know, you don't magically get all these big numbers out just by changing a magic part out and putting some new magic part in and saying, wow, look what I did, and charging $100 or $300 or whatever somebody wants to charge to do that kind of stuff. At least I don't do that, because it's not necessary. And you get a 3-year warranty with this radio. You start swapping parts out and doing stuff, then obviously you're going to jeopardize that. And why would you buy a radio like this that has that if you didn't want to maybe have to use it at some point? I'm not saying somebody will, but it's kind of a peace of mind knowing that it's there if need be. So, you know, that's what the radio looks like anyways on AM. So it looks good. I always set it to about 96%. With the test tone, which equals out to be a good level. It doesn't overmodulate or anything like that. Sideband is now here. So this thing is a performer there too. So that's how it looks on sideband. Now I'm set to the 3K setting in the menu. You can make it go 3.5, you can make it go 4, you could go down to 2, 2.5. It's pretty adjustable. So, and then here's the power out on sideband too. So it's a little over 100 watts pretty much there too. So definitely gives you a good punch for just a standalone radio. I don't foresee somebody really needed to run a whole lot more with something like this. You can do a lot with this if you have the right conditions and the right, you know, antenna setup and all that. But basically, in a lot of cases, conditions are going to prevail. So these don't get hot. That's another advantage. I mean, the heatsink gets hot, but we're not noticing, like, it's not burning to the touch or anything like that. It's got that big hunking heatsink on it, so of course that's going to take all the heat off the chassis. Plus, you know, we got the slotted covers and stuff, so I don't foresee there being any reason to ever put a fan on one of these. If you do, it's just because you want to. It's not because you need to, that kind of thing. So that's my take on that. So I did give you a Roger beep. If we go into the program here, and go to RB and hit function, I think we have to hit, yep, and we go to 6, and now let me turn on the monitor function, and I think I have to turn it, did I turn it on? Yeah, it's on, okay. So old like Lincoln or HR2510. There's other ones that are pre-programmed in there, so that's up to you if you want to run them. But that's the one that I put in. What? Wrong one. So I'll shut them off, but just to show you what I did. Whoop, I hit the wrong button. So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna make this any longer than I need to. Basically, you know, I can show you the test equipment really quick. It's not really exciting, but I'll show it. And I may not show it on every video, just frankly because I don't have time to always show that stuff. But, you know, I do the same thing every time, so. Okay, so here's the sideband on it. So I think when I did the test video under the box stock condition, I think I had something wasn't properly adjusted or something when I did the sideband test. But nonetheless, it comes out to be about the same as the QT80 and Quad 6 Pro, about 24 on the third order intercept, which is really good. So, but I think I was skewed on my measurement or something. I thought I double checked it on that video, but nonetheless, I have to go back and watch it. What I see now is probably going to be more accurate for what the radio is actually doing. So I just wanted to point that out. Didn't mean to really mislead anybody, but I don't think a lot of guys truly understand what that measurement even is. So, but you know, a higher number is always going to be better. I was a little shocked by what I saw originally, anyways. But you know, a 24 is nothing to slouch at because it's actually around 30. You know how the ARRL would measure it, and then you know what we see here is really nice, anyways. So. We got no problems there. You know, it's still a really clean radio regardless. So let's just take a quick peek here and see. 1 2 3 1 2 3, check 1 2, check 1 2. So yeah, even, you know, we're in the test parameter right now, but again, it's roughly 100 watts out. So you know, you're always going to see maybe slightly less at times, but you know, it's going to be upwards of pretty darn close to 100. And again, you know, anybody that knows anything about RF knows that, you know, you're not always going to see full power out of everything every time you speak. If you hyper focus on power, then you're going to miss out on so much more important stuff with radio. So, but obviously, as you can see here, we are hitting, you know, the 100 mark at least multiple times while I'm sitting here and rattling on this video. So it's working good, but I just wanted to point that out on the video, that I think I made a minor mistake on that original test video. So don't get too excited. like I did, because technically I did have some type of inaccuracy of some sort. So I mean, we're kind of hammering away at the radio, and it does get warm, you know, and it's actually really hot to the touch back here. But I would say, because it's a bigger chassis, the heat is being dissipated, I think, better. And still, I don't think that a fan is ever needed back here. I mean, people can do what they want with their own radio, but I wouldn't go through the trouble of trying to figure out a way to put a fan on there or even worry about it. But again, you know, most people will never heat a radio up like I do here when I'm testing them. So you're not putting continuous tones through your radio, you're just speaking. So it's kind of hard on the radio when you do this kind of stuff, but it needs to be done. It's a way to stress test the radio and all that good stuff. So, you know, it's important. And I'm sure when they were testing these before they were releasing them, that hopefully people did that too. Because I think it's important to fully know what, you know, how the radio works. I was not included in any part of the testing with these, so I'm assuming whoever did it, they knew what they were supposed to be looking for, and they did a good job, because I don't see anything wrong with them. You know, they're working good, so pretty happy with them. Okay, we'll go and do our modulation now. So there's our modulation. That's how it looks there. I mean, I can zoom it up some, but it's nice and rounded. Again, this is with that 25 watt carrier, so you know, with the continuous tone, that's kind of power that you're seeing. If we measure modulation here, it's about, like I said, about 96%, so not too shabby. We'll go and do the FM one, see where that is. So I know a lot of guys watched my original test video, and maybe I'll have to go back and make a little footnote in that video or something, saying that this was not something that, you know, there was something that I obviously had a setting wrong or something on that sideband portion. So, but again, we're seeing the same results on this as what we're seeing on the Quad 6 Pro. So I was really excited when I did that video, but that would be the only thing that I'd say, yeah, I wasn't exactly accurate with that one test that I showed, but it's still a really nice radio, and it's not taking anything away from the radio. It was just, frankly, my little mistake. So this is exactly the same as on the video that I showed. It's about 3.95 kilohertz on FM. If I go any more, it just shuts it off. So you can't get any more than 3.95K, which is good. You're going to sound good on FM. You know, I don't know what your guys' standard is there for your FM band, your 40 channel band, but I'm assuming it's only like 2K or something. So this probably will be very loud to those that aren't running something that can do that, you know, like a guy on a normal, like, legal CB, I guess is the word. So should sound good to them, but probably a little louder maybe than what they would like. But you can always turn the mic gain down, and that'll alleviate some of that stuff. So we can test that theory really quick here and just see, put the radio in FM mode and put that tone back in, and see what happens here. If we turn our mic gain down, does it? Yeah, it looks like it takes away some bandwidth. So let's go back in and test that theory just to see. 3.95. Yeah, you can lower it down to about 3.7 with the test tone. So you can't lower it a lot, but you could quiet yourself down. And I'm assuming with like a power mic or something, keep the gain down on it. Like I run these usually with all my radios, and I usually run the gain like around that level, and it sounds good. So that's my advice there. So it's pretty much done for you, Andrew. Like I said, I mean, it's gonna get a little hot. It's normal when you got a higher power here, but it's not burning to the touch. I mean, I've gotten the QT80s and the Quad 6 Pros literally burning to the touch, like so hot that you were thinking, wow, why does this thing get so hot? I mean, this thing is hot, but I mean, the heat sink is where all the heat is, so the heat is off the cabinet for the most part. Like, I can sit here and put my hand around the cabinet and all that, and it's not a big deal. Yeah, it's warm, but you know, all that heat is coming off this, and that's exactly what it should do. Where the Quad 6 Pro and the QT80 have that smaller heatsink that's fully connected to the whole back, so the heat kind of stays closer to the chassis. You got a lot smaller radio, so there's not as much room to work with, but this is a bigger chassis, even though the case is physically shorter now, which is kind of cool in its own way. But yeah, it's definitely a talker. So anybody that would need to think they need to get more power out of these, I don't know what you'd really want, and what you're not going to get 400 watts out of this radio. And for me, that's the only noticeable gain that you would see. You know, if you can't make this radio do 400, which you cannot do, I don't care what finals you decide to put in it, you're never going to make this thing do 400 unless you fit some type of amp or something in it. But I mean, that's just being unrealistic. So to me, it's all about the dB gain. You know, if you don't multiply it by 6 dB, you're just wasting your time. So again, you know, power wise here, it's over 100 on AM easily. On sideband, 1 2 3 1 2 3, check. It's a little cleaner on sideband, so you know, you're not always going to see those big high numbers, but you know, as we speak, we all know that we have peaks and dips in our voice. So you know, we're picking up the power as the power is sent. You know, that's how the radios work. The one thing to keep in mind here is you're probably not going to see a big jump on your SRF meter on sideband. That's normal. That's how these radios have always been when you turn them down and get some cleaner output out of them on sideband. And it's not that I'm turning the power down, I'm turning the third order harmonic distortion out of the radio. Basically, I'm cleaning the signal fully by doing what I'm doing there, by lowering that number in the service mode by a certain level, and using the spectrum analyzer to tell me, okay, what's the level that I see on the third order intercept test. That makes a huge difference. It really does. So you know, your HF radios are going to have that already done because they build those to a certain standard. And these are a little more not so RF cleanly out of the factory. Plenty of guys would probably use them like that, but I think it's better to do what I do. It's better for the radio operator to not have as many concerns about bleeding over frequencies and causing unnecessary interference and just everything in general. So yeah, that's why I do what I do here. If you don't agree with it and that's not your thing, that's okay. You know, if you just have a power meter sitting in front of you and you're just tuning for max power, then that's all you can do. That's all you can do. But you know, I guarantee that a radio like this is going to out-talk yours because yours is sending out more frequency, power off the frequency than what you're on, and that doesn't help you at all. The power meter likes it, but you know, staying on frequency with your power is important, and that's something that I highly stress with what I do and what I've always done. So Andrew, it's all done. You obviously have your VFO mode here too, so you know, I have it set to 10K here, and then oops, I need to correct that. We'll go back in and change that. I want 5K there, so let's change that. Course is here, channel selectors here. That's what the CHS means. So there's 5K. So now you can hit your 5K marks if you want to do it like that. You can slide around wherever you want to go, or you can go in standard 10K jumps. You can change that if you want to go into HF or something and work some HF. Obviously you wouldn't want 10K or probably 5K. You could make this 1K and make this 100 Hertz or whatever you want to do. So it's fully customizable in the VFO. Just have to hold the function down and you know, change this. It's nice that you can use this now. I don't know if the version 2 let you do it like this. I remember before you had to sit here and press the button, so I'd have to check a version 2 and see if it actually works like this, but this is cool. So alright Andrew, I'm going to get it ready to go for you on Monday as we talked about, and I hope you enjoy it, and Hope to catch you out there sometime. 73.